They've let the private sector grow and increase and lift up the state.
Welcome to Free Colorado News. I'm Ari Armstrong. Recently, John Stephenson from the National Taxpayers Union addressed Liberty in the Books in Denver.
Well, my name is John Stephenson. I am the State Government Affairs Manager for a group called the National Taxpayers Union. We are the nation's oldest and one of its largest grassroots taxpayer advocacy groups. We were founded in 1969 by a amateur economist named James Dale Davidson. He wanted to found a group that what we call a grassroots group, individual taxpayers, tax-paying businesses, and organize them into a force to advocate for lower taxes, less spending, limited government, and more transparent government. We have about 7,300 members right here in Colorado. We have members in all 50 states. We've been focused a lot on income and sales taxes over the years. We've also gotten involved in some discriminatory taxes. These are taxes on alcohol, sinful products. We've been focused on the budget and spending. I'm out here in Colorado to meet with some lawmakers, met with the new Speaker of the House today, met with the new Majority Leader to see what's going on out here and how we can advance the interests of our members here in Colorado. I indicated to them that the government that lets the private sector do what it should is allows jobs to be created, allows revenues to grow, and allows people to prosper. So we'd like to see that in the legislative session ahead. We've also been concerned that government is growing too big nationally and needs to be checked a little bit. I mean, you have it's not just taxes and health and education anymore. I mean, that's a big cost driver still. But you're seeing states now with their own cap and trade programs. California now has a huge multi-billion-dollar, what they want to do, global warming program, and they also to build a green energy economy. But what is really doing is taking money out of the private sector, putting a huge regulatory burden on the people of California, as if they don't have enough of those already, with things that are just absolutely ridiculous. The states that have reduced their influence on the economy, that like Bastiat, have kept themselves limited to a narrow focus, providing the essential services that the private sector cannot or should not provide, have weathered the recession best. Texas, Indiana. These are states that are growing. North Dakota as well are thriving because they've let the private sector grow and increase and lift up the state rather than the state try and lift up the private sector or the economy. A basic fee is not a bad thing. A user fee to get a permit to fish, to go into a park, to build a campfire. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But when it's a fee to pay for something else than that, a fee to clean up the river to help pay for education, or a fee on cars to plus up the state aid to local government, that's where I have a problem. Fees should be restricted to a specific use. In California, there was just a ballot initiative to restrict the state's ability to do this kind of stealth tax. The federal government encourages states to spend more money through Medicaid, through education, in order to get funding. One of the things we're looking on are ways to adjust those formulas so that the state is, rather than encouraged to spend, is encouraged to save. Pension costs are going up in every state. Perhaps instead of a defined benefit plan, looking at a defined contribution plan like the private sector has, or what Michigan, Utah have, might be a way to save money. A lot of affiliates have been talking to their elected officials here in Colorado about how that has cost them their livelihood. So there's the potential that could be fixed. In Illinois, we've been trying to engage the small business owners and the people who have these websites to contact our lawmakers. The phones have been burning up to implore upon the governor that, you know, going after a private business just because they're out of state, forcing them to do something they're not constitutionally required to do is just wrong.
Check out my book about Harry Potter's heroic fight for values at valuesofharrypotter.com.